Time now for Farmer Profile here on Farm Talk and Power 106 FM. And this morning we are journeying to Trelawny. We're joined by Raul Scarlett, and he is actually from Perth Town in Trelawny. Good morning, Mr. Scarlett, and welcome to Farm Talk. How are you?
Morning, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
A pleasure to have you on with us. Mr. Scarlett, they are farmers and they're farmers. You told me when I spoke to you earlier, but I'm not really a farmer in a miss. I just rear some goats, but clearly you're a farmer. The fact that you're rearing goats. Is Perth Town a farming community?
Yes, it is, Yes, it is. It's a very small district. However, it's mainly based on subsistence agriculture. So it's mainly goat rearing and farming from coconuts to planting and so on. You know what I mean?
Why did you choose to go into goat rearing rather than crops?
Well, the thing is, with my area, there's a lot of issues with water. So you find that the farmers that actually do well in the area are the ones that have access to, for instance, water trucks and so on.
Or they have their own water catchment facilities so they can do some water harvesting.
Right. So that's the main decision why I decided to rear goats instead of farming, because I even tried some of the farming with peppers, but then the drought kind of got me there, you know what I mean?
Okay. And peppers is a good area once you can get the water right.
Definitely.
Ready market.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm actually doing now as a young entrepreneur, I'm actually making what we call natural juices. I actually have my own company. It's called Agroblendz.
Okay. Well, tell me about that and how that got started.
All right. So that is basically was started out of a need or just the love of natural juices. Mm-hmm. My mother, who is also a member of the JA, she always made natural juices. So as a result of that, I learned how to make them, and then as a result, due to its natural characteristics and have all of these health benefits, I decided that I could go into this business venture.
Okay.
Using the same natural products. We get them from the local community as well as outside. So that's another good thing that I feel like all of the younger generation should really look into, agro-processing, because we already have the land and all of these produce. A lot of them are spoiling and so on. So
and with the agro-processing, you don't have to waste anything.
Exactly. So that's what really started it, and it's recently, it's new.
Okay. How old is it?
Going on. It's just about 4 months.
Okay. So still taking some baby steps.
Right, definitely.
Before you got to the launch, though, what did you do? How did you go about setting up the business?
Well, what I did is because I know about all of the right channels to go through. So what I actually did, I went on ahead and registered my business with the Companies Office of Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And I also went on ahead and got my food handlers, and I also got the Bureau of Standards to come and do an inspection at my house. So I went through all of the proper channels, and then now I started in a time when there was a bulk of June plums.
Okay, so you started with June plum juice.
Right. There were a lot of June plums spoiling, and I was like, well, instead of having all of these spoiling, why not just, turn them into juice? We make the juice regularly, and we always love it, and I just brought them and have some people sample them, and I say, okay, look, we're going to go and we're going to buy the bottles, and we're going to get the labels, and we are going to do this thing. You know what I mean? And then just out of that, we realized that, hey, we actually have something here, because in the first day, it sold off within an hour.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
So who are you selling to now? What kind of market do you have?
Well, right now, we are doing the direct to customer model. So I basically just have a little team with just me and some of the youths from the community of Perth Town. We just basically go to the market on a Saturday or on a Wednesday, and we also sell to the Rafters Village guys there in Martabury. Mm-hmm. And we also visit beaches and other public events. So we just basically utilize the direct to customer model. We'd like to go into the retail market, but that's a whole different ball game there.
Oh. What will it take to get you to that point, though?
To the retail market?
Yes. What kind of work do you think you're going to have to put in to break into the retail market?
Well, to break into that market is going to definitely need some investors, because it's going to take a large investment initially to get to, standardization and preservation, adding up some additional stuff like stabilizer and having the product pasteurized and so on, so it can have shelf life. And that's going to cost. Because then we're going to have to produce at a large scale. And then once it is introduced in the market, there's going to have to be a marketing and advertising campaign.
Okay.
That's definitely going to need some capital there.
And sometime it is always good to take the time and get it right, so that when you hit the market, you actually hit it running and the products do well. But the planning, the time before you actually get into the market in the retail trade is going to be very critical. So what you're doing now in terms of your direct sales is important, because those who are already drinking the juices, then they're going to be saying to others, boy, this is really good. What other juices do you have now?
Well, currently on the market, we have pine and ginger. That's really great. Among the patrons, we also have cucumber juice. And point to note, we are the only company that currently does cucumber juice, and since I started, I'm aware that a lot of other people start to do it, but we have cucumber juice, and we also twist the cucumber with spirulina. We have some with spirulina, we have some with string beans.
Okay.
Currently, like our mango is in season, we have mango, and that has no sugar added. We have guava, also with no sugar added. So we just basically do mostly the fruits that are in season right now.
But that speaks volumes about how it is that you have your operation planned. You know that you can't jump in feet first without having a plan. So you have the plan and you're taking it step by step. How critical is that for you to follow each step?
Well, it's very, 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 very critical, because it's like building a house, you cannot put up the doors and the windows before. You have to ensure that after you dig out, you ensure that the steel is of a proper characteristic. You ensure that your concrete is good. You ensure that everything is proper.
So you have to lay a good foundation.
Without the plan and surge ahead, you're going to lose money.
So that solid foundation is important.
Right, and I've also taken a lot of steps. I'm learning along the way. Each time I go out, I learn, because I've taken on some big events. Like, for instance, we were at the Kite Festival since here, and that turned out good. It could be better, but it was a learning experience, and that's where I really saw that, okay, this thing, it can work, but it's going to need a lot of investment. You know what I mean? It's not something that you say, okay, we're going to just go and sell some juice. It's got to be very strategic. You have to put everything in place. The customer service has to be good. And especially since it's a new product, there are a lot of things that has to be constant.
Okay. Any thought of growing your own fruits and vegetables for the juices?
Definitely. Well, I've definitely planted some June plums, and I started to plant some pineapples. But then again, we encounter the same water issue that's plaguing the parish of Trelawny, and that's very ironic, because we are not even a mile away from the river. But the thing is, there is a lot of water problems with that community, and that's been a long time since I was born. But I'm thinking about the business on a large scale, and even if I cannot plant the raw materials, what I could do is encourage local farmers to plant the crops that I would need.
Excellent. So you're looking for partnerships. Let me just get back to the goat rearing a little bit, because we're fast running out of time. How many goats do you have?
Well, I have about 7 heads right now.
Okay, so it's a small herd.
Right.
And do you have a market for those as well? Ready market for those?
Yeah, man, definitely. That just last week I said that I was selling goats, and in about 2 days, 4 of them were gone.
Excellent.
So I'm like, wow.
So each time you sell, you're getting new stock in?
Right.
And you keep it small because, of course, you have to make sure that you're able to manage your operations.
Exactly, and when you keep them small, they get better feed. If they have a cut or so on, you will more notice it and so on. Instead of when you have a whole lot of them, it's more difficult. You pay more better attention to them when you have a little bit.
How are the young people doing in your community? Are they excited about agriculture, or is there a lot of work to be done to get them on board?
There's a lot of work to be done, honestly. There's a lot of work to be done because myself as a young person, you find that a lot of the elders, even since last week, they're encouraging me to bring the younger ones with me when I'm selling juice. Guide them. They say to me, please, me, I beg you, talk to them, because the younger generation, we all know there is a shift going on within the mentality, you know, and they are not really looking towards, they are more looking towards easy money.
Right, not the hard work.
Right. So when you talk to them about these things, they more kiss them teeth and say, "Chow, we're not really upon that right now," you know what I mean? But there is a need, and what I think can get through to them is when you connect to them and say to them, say, "Look, we can make some money off this, you know, guys, and no police now go look for no and them thing there." You understand? It's going to take some time and it's going to take some work, but at the end of the day, we're going to all benefit. And I think if we can get them to see that picture, then they will be on board because, look, everybody wants to benefit. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to know what's in it for them, you know. And because the community is so in Trelawny, they need the exposure as well because one cannot experience what he does not know about.
That is so true, Raul. So we have to ensure that we're giving the young people the experiences so that they'll have something to draw from. By the way, any training at all in agriculture?
Pardon me?
Any training at all in the sector, in agriculture?
Well, I wouldn't say any training per se, you know, but I do have a degree in urban planning, and while doing my degree, we did a lot of subjects such as rural development and so on.
Okay, so that is why you have then been able to transfer that knowledge into an area that will work for you.
Definitely.
Because I was just about to...
I was in the third year of my course.
Yes.
We actually did a course called Rural Development where we were introduced to the whole agro-parks thing that the government is embarking on. So from there I realized that, look, I'm from a rural area, so this applied directly to me. You know what I mean?
And you've gone back to the rural area. Well, what a wonderful thing to have had this conversation with you, Raul. And we wish you all the best. I have no doubt that whatever it is that you put your mind to, you're going to achieve it. Thank you so very much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You're very welcome.
Take care. Raul Scarlett there. So you heard him. He's an urban planner. That's what he has his degree in. But he is into natural juices. The plans are that he is also going to be planting his own and also engaging farmers in the community to get some of what they have. But he's also taking care of goats. So you see, you can do whatever it is that you want to do with your life and add agriculture to it. We love to tell those stories. Let's take the break.